Making a wedding cake? I would be lying if I said I wasn't kind of scared of making this cake. It is by far the largest cake I've ever made. If you've been following along, you know that I made my wedding cake, but it was only 2 tiers, and this one is 3. The bottom one is 12 inches, and then 9, and then 6, so it's a big boy. The good news is that the bride and groom are my friends, so they're not gonna like judge it super harshly. I mean, it's gonna look great. I'm gonna try my absolute hardest to make it look great, but they're not gonna be judgy if it's not. And honestly, I don't think the bride even cares about the cake, but the groom does. So the 12-inch cake, they're all 3 layers. The 12-inch is vanilla cake, vanilla buttercream with jam in between the layers. The 6-inch is the same, and then in the very middle, there is a chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting, because that is what the groom loves. So to get both of their wants in the cake, that's what we're doing. And yes, I bought jam for this because sometimes the store-bought jam is just the best for making cakes. I'm mixing raspberry and strawberry. In culinary school, we did a lot of putting raspberry jam in the middle of cakes. I prefer to mix it with strawberry because it gives it just like a little bit more sweetness. It's less tart. I really like it. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I just put hot water in here with sugar and vanilla extract. And this is my simple for this cake. When you're putting syrup on cakes, you don't want to douse it, but you also don't not want to douse it. It's like it really depends on how thick your cake layers are, how much you want to put on, how stable you want the cake to be, but you also still want it to fucking taste good, so. There is also a little bit of corn syrup right underneath this first layer because I want the cake to stick and not slide off, and corn syrup is the best way to do that. So like I said, this is just Italian buttercream. I just did a little layer around the outside. And then I'm kind of gonna go more in the inside, but not so much that it's completely full. Spread it out with my offset. And essentially all I'm doing is kind of making space for the jam. So the outer layer will still be the highest, and the inside is a little bit lower. So it looks like that. You can see there's like a lip on the outside. And then we're just gonna put some jam in here. You don't wanna do too much jam because your cake layers can slide around and nobody fucking wants that. So that is what we're looking at. I'm gonna put the next layer on. These were all frozen because I made them last week, so they're all a little bit wonky. But once it's all put together and everything's done, you're not gonna be able to tell. You don't have to use a piping bag for that part. I just think it's cleaner and easier. I'm also very quickly realizing that the 2.5 quarts of Italian buttercream that I made is not going to be enough for even this layer. That was kind of all I was hoping for, was that it would just be enough for this tier of the cake. But I don't think it is. So I'm going to make some more.